Hello, everyone. It is Felicia Bender, the practical numerologist. This video is all about the sixth challenge in numerology. So, in numerology, we go through 4 challenge cycles, and this is all about the number 6. So, real quickly, if you are unsure what the challenge cycles actually are or what yours might be, I would ask you to please pause this video, go to the description box. There's a video there that is an introduction, a brief introduction to what are the challenge numbers, what are the cycles, what do they mean in numerology, and then it also walks you through how to calculate those very specifically for you specifically, and then also gives you the calculation for the timing. And so you'll know when, not only what numbers you experience, but when you experience those. So it's not just random things that happen as challenges. These are very specific to your own chart. So if you are unsure of that, go and do that first and then come on back. Otherwise, I am making a crass, wild, crazy, guess that you already know that you are either experiencing a 6 challenge currently, or you have in the past, or that you will in the future, and you would like to have some insight into how to understand that. So that is what we're going over right now. So if you have or will experience a challenge number 6, it is challenging you and teaching you all about acceptance. Okay, so I'm attempting to distill it down into one word. And yet, if you look at the number 6 in numerology, the 6 is all about nurturing. It's the home, family, duty, service, a little bit of self-sacrifice, a lot of responsibility. That all comes with the 6 whenever it shows up, and it's going to show up for you when you have this as a challenge cycle. So the ultimate goal here is acceptance. It's acceptance of yourself and people and others and the world, not having that high level of idealism, judgment, criticism around things that you don't approve of, or that aren't the way in which you operate or you think. And that's, again, kind of distilling it down. And yet that's a way you could start to think about it. So the challenge is you can experience situations here where the tendency is to operate with a sense of crushing idealism, right? It's the 6 always brings in that bigger picture. It's like during this time, the beauty of it is that you can see this bigger picture in front of you, and yet the frustration is that nobody else can. And you have to kind of go with that flow, right? And yet this can be a time where kind of nothing is ever good enough, right? Nothing is ever quite good enough. And there's a constant sort of undertone of dissatisfaction when this is a challenge. So you've got to see the ways in which your expectations are just maybe out of line, and to come to terms with the way in which you can actually be happy and formulate a sense of, I don't know, happiness, satisfaction, whatever you want to call it, during this time. And yet it will be troublesome. It will be rather difficult to do and to achieve. So that is part of that 6th challenge. The opportunities here are that you'll learn to understand the perfection of the imperfection of everything, everyone, and particularly yourself. You'll be able to feel appreciation for where people find themselves, while you can offer a helping hand and a kind word without judgment. So it's all about really modulating your sense of responsibility during this time. A lot of things having to do with family, whether that's your family of choice, family of origin, whether it's your spouse, significant partnership, children, grandchildren. All of those things are going to play a bigger role during this challenge cycle that is guided by the number 6. So the issues here are that you might struggle with balancing a need for control. The 6 is all about perfectionism and all about control. So you're going to be working with that during this challenge. You have to work with the reality of being called to service. to be loving, to be giving, to be supportive without making it dependent upon your prescribed, again, out what you want to see happen in terms of your particular results or outcome. It's like, loving a family member, even though you're watching them, stumble and fall. You want to do it for them. You want to take the responsibility for them. And yet this cycle is asking you not to abandon them, and yet also take a healthy distance and be supportive, but also not have that unhealthy enabling, the enabling of others. The call to service is really part of this challenge. It's a time where you are always called to mentorship, called into those situations where you are taking on more responsibility, and yet you're not doing it from this martyrish sort of position. So overall, the sixth challenge is significant and brings in a lot of activity, again, with friends, with family, where that is at the front of the line. And so this is the challenge, to roll with it, to not enable, and to also take care of yourself on a very real way, not in a corny, rose petals on the floor kind of way. But I mean, rose petals on the floor is all great if you want that. And yet truly, giving yourself the self-love and the self-care that you give to others is going to be a point of balance during a six challenge. So I hope this was useful. Please do take a look at the links below. If you want to know, again, all of your challenge numbers, you can calculate them there. And the links to all the videos are there as well.